What's up, people? This is JJ, your hip hop aficionado, your hip hop connoisseur. I'm here to tell you about my show, The History of Hip Hop with JJ. It's on a Friday, 10 p.m. till 12 a.m. So whether you're into that hard body stink face style, or whether you like it more smooth and laid back, I will be bringing you the best of hip hop from the last 50 years. So join me Fridays 10 p.m. till 12 a.m. on Black Culture Radio. Peace out. So I am blessed again with another dope artist for interview this week. This time, instead of a rapper, it is a beat maker. His name is BhramaBull. BhramaBull, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm blessed.
Cool.
Straight up. How are you?
I'm cool, man. Thank you for asking. So how you living, man? You busy, or you chilling at the moment?
I went through the chilling like a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't make a beat. I went back to the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I saw my family. But right now, it's just, I got out of the little rut. It wasn't a rut. It was just I wasn't making beats every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just chilling right now. I'm kind of getting back into the groove a little bit these past week or two.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, cool. So I want to get back to the essence. I want to get right back to the beginning. Where does hip hop start for you? What kind of years are we talking, and what kind of artists are we talking?
When it started, like after I got beats and started working with artists, in the beginning, it started. I was like making beats at school. Like, I was making beats, and my boy Gio, my homie from back in Pennsylvania, I was doing an internship at a studio, and we was like making tracks. You know, my boy D9, he's an artist now. He just got a track with Marty Baller. He's still going. We were just making tracks, like recording. We didn't have a pop filter. I was recording into my laptop. It was a struggle shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, trying to make it as good as possible, and we were making mixtapes. So we would make like mixtapes with the hottest shit on it, but put our tracks first.
Yeah.
You know, this was before Spotify. All we had was SoundCloud and like tangible CDs. So, you know, we kept going. We did it, you know. The reality kicked in. We ain't making no fucking money off this. Like, let's just kick it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just kick it and make some tracks. The world's gonna hear it, and we just kept kind of going. And we just kept making music for the love. You know, it wasn't a money thing. There was just no Spotify. There was no Apple Music.
No music streaming.
It was like, yo, you gotta set. Yeah, there was no. The streaming revolution hadn't happened yet. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't afford. We were splitting nick bags. You know what I'm saying? Scraping bowls. You know, and the res and mix that with tobacco and try to smoke that shit. Like, you know,
we all been there at one time or another, man. We all been there at one time.
And then you flip over the bowl and like light it from the flip over to get the resin from the bottom. So we was doing that, and rest in peace, my boy Ray. You know, we was making tracks. I just got back from school, I had an MPC, all that. So then it just progressed. Like, I started to engineer a lot. I started to, you know, get my tracks sounding like my tracks weren't sounding clean. They weren't, you know, you couldn't go to YouTube and see, like, this is the 5 things you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a bootleg Pro Tools. I had, like, crack plugins, you know, and when I started to work with, like, Sco Heat and freaking Brian Knockin out of freaking the Bay Area. And I was still making tracks as best as I could. You know, we usually had to send them back and forth, but me and B Knockins clicked. Like, he loved every beat I had. I liked his raps. The raps were positive, like, you know, no drug dealing. It was just like party, black power shit. You know what I'm saying? Just positive energy. And we ended up, he really like sparked me to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never was going to quit, but I just didn't have anyone to rap with me who had a studio that could record anything. I was on like SoundClick. That's the wackest site ever. Trying to sell my beats, you know what I'm saying? Nobody was buying them. Niggas was stealing them because I didn't know I have no drums in it or no bass. So it's basically I'm chopping up the sample, looping it perfect so niggas could steal it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was just rookie status, you know? And but B-Knockin', you know, he would send it back, say like, yo, put some drum, like, it needs bass in it. Like, try to get some bass in it. And I was trying to get my sound perfected, and I had an MPC 4000 at the time, so that progressed. You know, we did like 5 albums, and then I started to reach out to other artists. I really kind of just went in on it. I used to do music videos while making beats. I had moved to the West Coast, and I was trying to solidify like my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, how I was going to make money. Now, I would have worked at a department store. I would have worked at McDonald's. I would have worked anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I had a camera. I was taking pictures, doing photo shoots. So I felt like, you know, I had a chance to, like, be independent and not work nowhere. You know? So there was some struggles while I was changing. But then I started to reach out to other artists that I did through promotion. Like, I had a radio show, and I was promoting them like every week on the radio show. Rome Streets exclusive, Bub Styles exclusive stuff, and I wasn't really sending them beats. I was just promoting their stuff, and then I was just like, "Fuck that! I'm tired of promoting other people." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of like doing interviews with these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I couldn't. It wasn't in me to do that. You know what I'm saying? There was something else. So I was like, yo, I got beats. Like, you know, I got beats. I'll send them to you. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to buy them, but I'll make that shit shake because I know what's going on releasing the music. Bob Styles gave me a track. I had an A&R named E that was helping me to move my tracks around. And I just started to, like, now the niggas that I was promoting are getting better. They ain't quit. You know what I'm saying? So I just they motivated me, and it kind of started with, you know, that, and it ended to like where we are now. And I feel like I'm just in the beginning of all this shit. Just to be totally 100.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, man. And even before that, what's your kind of musical journey? What's the first sort of genre of music where you were like, I love music, this is my genre kind of thing, and how did that morph into hip hop?
It was before that. I liked jazz, soul, R&B, and it was really branded from my parents and me, like collecting vinyl. I didn't really start collecting and respecting it and know how the value of it until later, but you know, James Brown CDs and like Anita Baker, these are the things that I heard, you know, in the house. And my dad was in promo too, so he would bring me home records like Ice Cube. Okay, who's Ice Cube? You know, I don't know who Ice Cube is. You know what I'm saying? Or like Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs. Who the fuck is he? But I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? What was good was good to me. Del and the Funky Homo Sapiens. At like 12 years old, I didn't know who the fuck he was. You know what I'm saying? So I was just listening as like purity, you know, and I had these records and they were all over. Sade, it put me to sleep, you know. I didn't know she was going to be or was like such an artist like that. So it was mostly from, you know, the things that were in my house, the records, the brought home promo records, like Jay-Z. Who the fuck is Jay-Z? I was getting promo records from people that made it to people that just sucked or never made it. But I was just treating everything as I heard it, and I just had a genuine like for certain things.
Yeah.
Even if it was a jazz record, jazz, soul, R&B, and like gospel music, you know?
Okay. Do you have any? I know you like mentioned these artists, but do you have any musical heroes? Not like you're trying to be like them, but people that you look up to. Maybe you want to get to their level, or maybe you just love the way they do their thing. Sort of on.
Yeah,
that.
I got a lot.
Just
Like
mention a few for us.
mentors. Yeah, mentors. I really like Pete Rock. He's just when you hear a song, then you see who made it, but years later down the road, like, damn, he made that shit. He's nice with it. I like Swiss Beats. He really had a confidence on his sound, and I think I like the way that he delivers the music to the artist, like selling them on it. You know what I'm saying? Like building the whole picture of the songs. I like that aspect of Swiss Beats. Like he'll put that shit in there, and then like everybody will just be like, "Yo, I can't deny this." So I really like that aspect of Swiss Beats of his presentation. Jay Dilla, just his work ethic.
Oh, of course.
And the way his demeanor of a producer really is. You know, and how he's made himself like kind of majestic. And like the techniques that he uses, he made his own wave. You know, even though that was even before niggas figured out how he cut his shit up, which I think is kind of like dry snitching, but it really brings up his legendary status. Jay Dilla, I like The Alchemist. I like the way he puts things together. And adjusting to the sound, because he knows he's the leader of the sound. So like, yo, I ain't gonna put drums in my beat. Like, now everybody's not putting drums in their beat. Like, he knows he's the leader of where the sound is going, and he kind of blew up Earl Sweatshirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get a whole bunch of his beats and you just do whatever the fuck he say, you're gonna have a place in history. You know. And I just like, you know, mixtape guys and kind of underground guys. Swiss Beats is kind of up top, Grammys and all that shit, but I really like the street level production. I really like Havoc, just on how he simply makes things that you know it's him. You know, like the way he layers the beats. It may be like 4 sounds, but I know he like got a bottle of Henny there. I know freaking Prodigy is there. I know there's a dice game in the corner. I know niggas got 40 ounces and shit. I know there's hustling going on in the studio. You know what I'm saying? So it might be real, maybe not. But I can imagine all these sounds he's making going through the studio, and like he puts it together and everybody just knows it's hot. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think happens. I might be wrong, but it's loved by so many hood niggas and street niggas. It's like, he knows exactly what to do. You know what I'm saying? So that street culture aspect is like something that I strive to make it simple enough, but liked by most. You know what I'm saying? You know, as far as like people in, you know, producers back in the day, I really like Leon Ware. Now, I've done some research on him. I really like the way he puts his songs together and stuff. It's really dope. And when I found out he wrote the Marvin Gaye album, I'm like, this is the real dude right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, the I Want You album was my favorite forever.
Yeah.
But he wrote the whole shit. And Marvin Gaye just did everything over. Now he could sing. Marvin Gaye is a special talent. He could sing better than him, but he wrote every line.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then I dug into a little bit more of his stuff, and his albums are so good, you know. So he's like a sleeper, and as a producer, but Barry White,
No.
Isaac Hayes, like these dudes. I don't know if they're slept on, but they're legends.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, like I was raised on kind of East Coast, kind of Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York, kind of into Boston kind of thing. And, and that's where I've been influenced by hip hop the most. And that's why I'm trying to give the sound of where I came from, mixed with me expanding a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. You never want to stay stuck in one place, especially sonically. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, obviously, me growing up in England from Caribbean heritage, I never really listened to any of that soul, the Barry White, the Isaac Hayes. I never found that until I listened to hip hop. You understand what I mean? And then when I sort of, because obviously when you're younger, you hear a song and you think that's the song, but then you hear the original somewhere and it's like, that reminds me of that hip hop shit, and then you find out about sampling and all that kind of stuff. So then I started getting into where the samples come from on that track, and that obviously led me to Barry White, Isaac Hayes, James Brown, blah blah blah. I mean, obviously I knew who James Brown was because he's world famous, but yeah, all the
But that's a crazy wormhole to go down, bro.
Yeah, Lenny Williams, and and then I mean that is one of the reasons why I love hip hop, because you can take any genre of music, chop it and make it dope for a hip hop artist, and that for me is why hip hop runs the world musically. That's why you get hip hop in TV adverts and everybody's using it to try and sell their products to everybody, because it's just so malleable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. That's real talk right there.
So,
but they can't do it. They try to take some of the shit, like like the Annie Up. I see that commercial with Annie Up in it. Now, Annie Up is a robbery song. You just rob and kidnap somebody, but it's on a freaking Target commercial. So what you said is definitely right.
Yeah. Because I mean, Annie Up over here, it's been used a couple of times, but the last time it was used was for, I think it was on a KFC advert. So they're using a robbery anthem to sell fried chicken. You know what I mean? It was it's crazy how it works. Getting back to you, where does your name come from? And did you have any other names before you settled on BhramaBull?
No. I never had anything else. I just settled on it. I picked it. No, I was listening to when LimeWire came out. I downloaded like the NFL films, like LimeWire shit. I was heavy in burning applications, everything bootleg. I was in it, bro. I will wait days for just one little file. Like I couldn't get it. I had to get it because I was trying to learn it, or I was trying to get that music. You know what I'm saying? There was no other way. I couldn't afford it. So there was an NFL Films thing going around with like the calls from NFL Films and stuff like that. And I wanted to kind of find something classic, kind of 70s, old equipment, recorded ass, like drop. You know what I'm saying? I was just listening to it just for I think I was doing mixtape drops or something. I was really into like stealing music, stealing sounds. I went through that phase. I think every producer goes through that phase. And I found the BhramaBull it was almost like they cut the tape and they put it in there. You could tell that they moved his lyrics over, and it was just sitting right there for me, you know? And I was just like, yo, let me cut that out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to figure out how to sample into the MPC. And it was like, yo, that's my mission, to try to get this sound in the MPC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it was, there's no drag and drops. You got to spin the little wheel till it goes to the front, and then spin the little wheel back. And it was just a whole bunch of work. So I held it down. Like, I'm big on, like, from the beginning to the end. Like, I was thinking about switching my name, but then it's like everything I've done. And if somebody comes up to me that I've known in the past, like, yo, Brahma, nah, I'm not Brahma no more. Like, that's the corniest shit ever. Right.
I know
Like,
what you mean. Yeah.
you know, and I wanted to keep the fucking name because I knew I wasn't going to stop. Like, even when I was doing the music video and the shows and stuff like that, I was still making beats on the side. Now, I wasn't like saying, yo, I got beats, but I'm selling a video. So, if you're trying to get somebody to pay you for video, why you going to tell them you got beats?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I had to kind of hide it to try to, like, find my way. And I never really wanted to do music videos or none of that shit. It was just like, yo, my bands needs music videos. I got the camera. I know how to get it. And I was still Brahma in that phase. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it came from a little video, little NFL films thing, and I never switched it after that ever.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the little call signs that everybody's kind of got, the producers and the rappers and that kind of stuff. Yeah, but I do like your one, man. And it's a vicious right from the ball. Cool. Every time I hear it, man, I love that.
It was BhramaBull from that soundbite, but I got a lot of drops, and then I heard it in a movie, and I kind of like, the drop was just too quick. BhramaBull, like, but Alchemist had the it was just, his was just a little bit better, and I didn't want that little ass sound, so I found it in the movie. I kind of shaped it together, and that's all I'm going to say on the record is that part. That's about it.
So,
you know,
how would you describe your style to someone who hasn't listened to BhramaBull production before? I mean, you were saying before about Swizz Beats and the way he kind of sells it. So if you're trying to make a connection with a rapper, how would you give him the picture of what your beats are? Or do you do that?
Well, what I usually say, well, when I'm talking to like a regular person on the street, it's like, I got like Benny the Butcher sounding beats. Like, I just pick like kind of West Side Gun sounding because they're regular people. They may not know who he is. They may have heard of him. I gotta pick the most major person in that lane to compare to, right?
Sure.
But they're like if I was telling somebody that didn't know shit, you know, old school hip hop type beats, you know, cultural hip hop culture beats, or boom bap. That's what I would say to somebody that didn't know shit. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
If it was like an artist, I'd be like, you know, kind of Ninth Wonder, but with a boom bap kind of crunch on it, you know, and it's got the low end, something like that. Because I like having low end. It was just so many years of not having a low end, and that's just evolution of production is knowing to get the low, middle, and high right, and not too blaring, you know. So I usually say like Ninth Wonder kind of sounding beats, like classic hip hop beats. But I think, you know, I do certain things with the drums that I don't think they're not like scattered, but they're placed. And I try to keep like 1 foot in boom bap, 1 foot in like kind of the locks, kind of pop hip hop. It would be like a combo. And I'm not saying the locks or Styles P is pop hip hop, but I just did the song with Michael Christmas. Now he's not boom bap. You would consider him alternative hip hop, right?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe, you know, in that realm. So I'm trying to like merge the two worlds. You know, the kick is sitting on top, but the sample is crunchy. The snare is compressed all the way in. Like, I may chop up things and just like it may not be perfect. So I would say like, you know, 1 foot in boom bap, 1 foot out type of beats. Sure. You know.
Okay. Do you create your beats with artists in mind, or do you just, do you create them with artists in mind, or is it just, this is fat, I'm going to make it kind of thing?
No. I basically just make, it's more about them knowing that it's me. Like I'll do the first 8 bars. It'll have a break into the top. And it's really just, am I going to start with the hook, or are they just going to rap through and the hook comes later?
Yeah.
I do like songs with the hook first because it's like the catchiest part is in the front. You know what I'm saying? Or like, even if they take like, if they're rapping and they take a bar of their catchiest shit and make it into the hook, it's just a better chance of people liking it. If to me, everyone's different because I'll just send the beat and I don't really have too much input about how you rap. I try not to because they have input on me making the beat. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I don't really make them with in mind. I try not to make them too slow. That's one thing I don't want. Sleepy. My bad.
Okay.
Did I mess it up? Okay.
No, you're okay.
Sleepy beats and kind of like I don't do lean. I am tired a lot, but I try to keep it a little paced up, just a little bit. If it's going to be on the low end of the speed, if it's you know, and then I'll go higher speeds with that. But yeah, I just try to make it so they know it's my beat. With the tag, you're gonna know, but I kind of want a sound. I'm not really making it for certain people, unless like Benny the Butcher say, "Yo, come through and bring some beats." Then I'll fucking go to a certain record. You know, if there's an opportunity there, or Conway or something, then I'm making a certain pack. But when I'm making beats every night and I pull up to the computer, nah, I'm just doing what I feel.
Okay. So how long have you been on the West Coast, and do you think that's changed your style? I know you said you still got that East Coast sound, and I can hear it in your beats, but what do you think that moving to the West Coast and the time that you've spent there has changed anything in the way you think when you're creating?
Definitely. I noticed it because working with B Knockin', I would send beats, no drums and all this shit. He was like, nah, bro. We need a trunk rattler. Like, you know, even working with Mischief in San Diego and Trackwide, like, they're like, yo, you on the West Coast now, man. We need some bass in our shit. Or like, you know, you got to feed the low end. Like, I could mix it and raise the low end and it would sound fine. But we need some, you know, this is the West Coast. And I'm like, okay, bet. You know, like, they really turned me around to know that, like, okay, y'all think this is hot. Because I had to fit in. I needed artists for my fucking beats. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they really helped me with that low end. Now I have a method of how I do it. And it used to be blaringly loud on a lot of my tracks. But now I got it sitting in there, like, right. So West Coast has affected me on that. And as far as, like, the layering sounds, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that little shit you may not hear, but it's in there type shit.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound right without it. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Right. And and the ranges of where to put it, it's like you know, they really helped me with that. And that's like what I learned from the West Coast, that like, you know, the spacing and the sounds can affect the sample, but you don't have to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And it'll sound like the sample. So, you know, and I've upgraded a lot of my plugins. I don't steal them anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really, it doesn't matter. Like, the Waves plugins are fire. They do everything, but there's certain ones that have a certain sound. And sometimes you want a $5 program or a free program to, like, degenerate it, or it doesn't matter. Because an engineer that got 200 gold records and fucking just did the Doja Cat and the Tyler the Creator and every new shit, he's like, these plugins don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? The type of plugins don't matter. It's just, what does it do for your sound. You gotta control it the right way, and you'll know which ones are added to your sound. Because I use the same plugins almost every time, you know. So yeah, I learned a lot about bass, atmospheric sounds, and just spacing. And the hook thing I learned from the West Coast, because if you hear any West Coast thing out here, the catchiest part is in the beginning, like, and they really taught me a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely with you on the low end. Like I said before, obviously being raised in the UK and being raised in Caribbean and reggae music, obviously the low end is the bit that grabs you, you know. So yeah, I know what you mean. One of the reasons why I got in touch with you was at the time Evolution 4 was just on repeat. Like that album is dope. I mean, obviously from then I've checked out your whole catalog, but that Evolution 4 was for a couple of weeks. That was more or less all I played. How does something like that come together? Is it stressful trying to keep track of so many moving parts, or is it pretty easy?
It's not stressful. I don't let it get stressful. You just gotta, I think it's just the coming together of all those songs. And you have to have songs while you have songs out. You have to work while the songs are out. And it's like 5 new tracks on there. So even with me dropping singles, to drop the first one, I need 5 more in the tank, 8 more in the tank. So then you set up the next one, and you gotta keep working. Now, everyone works at a different time. Like Vic Spencer took like 2 weeks. Some niggas take forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you have to. And I get it mixed with the homie, so I gotta send the tracks over. And then sometimes I sent them like the 2-track out of the machine. So I want to mix the fucking beat, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want it to take the feel away. So, and I can't change up the way it's placed because that will mess up their verse, you know? It's a lot of work. It's almost like building a house. But I had Evolution in mind when I started. And I wasn't just going to drop a record. I don't think I have that much popularity yet.
Yeah.
That I could just drop it and everybody waiting for BhramaBull's Evolution. And, you know, I was reaching out to blogs. I was reaching out to DJs, letting them know it was on the way while getting the tracks back, getting the mix, like, until that time. And I could have dropped singles for every single one that wasn't on there, but I wanted to make a project that was more unreleased than what they heard. And it worked out dope because some of them songs that I released as singles, people ain't even heard when I released them as singles. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the whole thing was new. It was a lot of work, but it was definitely a lot of fun. Getting the beat back, like send it to the engineer, he puts the vocals over it. I could have did it, but I want to support people on their grind and like I need help.
Yeah.
Like, I learned that shit, like, I can't do everything. Mix, master, do the video, edit the shit. Something's gonna look janky. And it's better to get styles from other people. So, did that. Boom. He sends the track back, but then I would edit the beat under it. So, like, put the tracks out, track them out, and then, like, put drops in and shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe filter out that part. And Tone, I would tell him, yo, go crazy on it. Put some drops in. And he did that on the Screen Pass. I ain't put those drops in on Screen Pass. That shit came out fire. You know what I'm saying? So, it was all a team effort. Even the DJs, like, you wouldn't have heard it if I ain't get it to no DJs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was really building with them to my really big release. And it worked out pretty well. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that Vic Spencer track is fire, man. I love Vic Spencer. I've been a big fan of his for a good few years now. And that Freeway Slim track as well. I love that track. What do you do when you're not making beats. You got other any business ventures, or is it just relaxing and making beats?
I mean, I got like a promotional company for artists, so sometimes artists will ask me for different plugs or like things that I've acquired from promoting my music, because you gotta scrape. I'm pretty good at scraping around the internet for resources. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like not having it for this whole time, then getting it, it changed the fucking game. Like, you could work on that shit and find resources for everything and build with people like unlimited time. It never ends. So I got a little promotional company where like, okay, playlists on Spotify. Maybe I got some plugs there. You know what I'm saying? Music video people. And I help like other artists like promote their music the way I do, or like in the pop realm. So I got that. But for hobbies, I like playing pinball. Now, I just recently started liking pinball for some reason. I don't know what happened, but I really like playing pinball. Like the new Venom came out. It's like a stress reliever, but like it's real gravity shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not on the computer. Like there's really a ball moving around over there. Like, and you got to skill the shot over there for something to happen over there. You know, I thought that's a little hobby of mine, and and it's expensive shit. I can't afford a pinball machine. They're like $8,000. I can't afford it. You know, I like taking pictures. You know, I was a photographer for a long time. Went to school for photography. Like when you had to put it in the isopropyl and all that, like I know all that shit. That's like ancient. But sometimes, I go to the beach or I go take pictures of graffiti. I did that when I was back on the East Coast. Like sneak under the gate and get the pictures and and then try to send it to them. But this was before Instagram, so I was just taking pictures of graffiti. And then I would go to New York, or take the bus to New York and just take pictures. Like I worked in the studio out there, and I swear I was like the first person with a camera over there. And I would take pictures over there. Like a lot of stuff has changed when I was in my, like, really ambitious mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, 25, 24. Like, I don't need no sleep. Shit. Everything's changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like kicking it, with the homies. Sometimes we go to the studio and we just fucking watch, like, Black Friday stampedes and shit. That's what we did this time. Like, people really trying to get the TV, and then they took it from, like, American shit. You know what I'm saying? And like shootings at South by Southwest, like oh shit, or fights, just like kicking it, and then we'll listen to some beats or whatever. But I make beats every day, so I gotta sometimes find a way to like, or your beats are just either you won't learn anything new, or you get ear fatigue, or like. You won't get new sounds, you know what I'm saying? I like digging for records, too. That's really fun, vintage shit. Digging for records, pinball, drinking beer, I drink, I don't smoke weed. And I actually, like, the other day, I was like, I need to smoke some weed. Like, my beats don't sound like I'm on weed at all. But then my brother said, like, yo, don't smoke weed, like... people, I put it on Twitter, and they're like, yeah, CBD and smoke some weed. I'd be so lazy. I work for myself, bro. I'd be so lazy, bro. I wouldn't be like, I'll call that nigga back. Fuck that. I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you mean, man.
I used to smoke mad weed. I used to love weed when it wasn't everywhere. Like, you used to meet the guy. My homie would put it in my mailbox at my house, and I'd leave the money in the mailbox. I wouldn't even have to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, go to the store. Everybody got weed, bro. It's not even like, not even fun to even go get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's everybody got it. So, it's just. All those working in the studio, having the weed dealer in the studio, you support him. You know, I mean, but everything's changed, and I love the change in all the music. Like, this whole shit is just fire. I love the progression. I love the way the beats are. Like, I'm not one of them OG hater niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
me neither.
I just love all this shit.
I couldn't do this show if I was. I mean, if I was, I wouldn't be talking to you, obviously. But you know, so
right, bro.
do you know what I mean? Because
just let this shit grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, pause. Like, this shit is crazy. You know, and I like everything. Like the murder music, the peaceful music, the no drum, the drum, all the shit. Alternative, emo, hip hop. Now they need to release their shit. Like, just do it, man.
I mean, I always say that, man. I always say, if you're from an old school back in the day, like if that's your kind of thing, late 80s, early 90s, like you can still find that now. There's still new cats making that kind of music. It's just that we got lazy because the 90s, it all came to you and they forgot that they had to go and search for it. So now we got to go and search for it again. They can't be bothered. That's the way I feel about it. They expect the music to come to them. But obviously you have to go find it again now. You know what I mean? Everything's gone underground again. If boom bap is your thing, it's there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I always get in arguments on the internet with people saying that it died in the 90s and they ain't listened to anything past 2002 and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, you've missed so much. Because not only is it disrespectful to the new cats that are still doing it, it's disrespectful to the guys from that era that are still making music. It's like I say to people, Styles P was, from about 2014, 2015, he was making 1 or 2 projects a year. And he's only just retiring now. So how much, if you're a Lox fan from the 90s, Money, Power, Respect, and you're not listening to anything that the Lox have done past 2002, are you a Lox fan? You know what I mean?
No.
Or Havoc, or anybody that's Wu-Tang, you know, Method Man.
Wu-Tang,
look at what Method Man's doing. You know what I mean? The last couple
years. And I like
years.
to see them get old, nigga. I like to see the gray hairs and fucking them still like pressing the buttons with trying to find the new sounds and like I fuck with that shit. Like they're still doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I heard that the first time, it was like, what the fuck is this? And they still going, and that was like nothing. And they was like 19 years old, bro. Like they were really born into this shit before I even knew what the fuck it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be happy that they still here and they giving the knowledge or just putting on. Because rock people can get old. Yeah. Pop people, Aerosmith and all these motherfuckers can get old and wheelchair them out and you know. But why can't hip hop have old niggas?
Yeah, they tell you about.
I don't get that.
30 years old and you're done and all that rubbish. Yeah, it's rubbish.
What?
I mean, and I like that they get to change what they're talking about as well. Because obviously, when they're 19, they're talking about running the streets. You're 40 years old. You're not running the streets anymore. So they talk about sitting back, watching the young cats run the streets and try and give them the knowledge. You know what I mean? And try and you know, or try and get them to stop running the streets and show them that there's a different way. You know, and it's nice to hear that in the rhymes because obviously, you know, you're still running around the streets with a gun at 47, 48 years old. You know what I mean? So you know.
No, because it's going to match us. You're going to get a better percentage of listeners that grew up with you and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it'll match. Like, that's what's missing with, like, these, like, quick little blow-up people. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't have no history or nothing, like, so they're not authentic. It's just, like, internet quick little attention span shit. But with these legacy artists, like, you're always going to have, like, you could still do a show and have like 400 or 500 people there easy in a little ass town. So
I know you said you've only just got into making beats again the last couple of weeks. What's next for BhramaBull? What's coming up? Have you got any plans, or is it just making beats and see where it goes for now?
Well, I'm expanding it because I can draw really well. Like I have sketchbooks full of like drawings. I'm really nice with the computer and I've edited so many little I gotta bring out some more creative shit that I can do. Nobody knows that I can draw. You know what I'm saying? Like little cartoon characters and merchandising. Like I'm not doing that well enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I signed a deal over in Australia. This company named Blue Pie Records, and I'm really doing it for the love, like too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas will buy shit. You know what I'm saying? So I got little drawings. I did a shirt like this hoodie right here. I did with the homie Degree with Bizarre Cargo. But everybody's asking me, yo, I'm trying to buy the hoodie. It ain't even for sale. Like, I'm not like, I gotta shoot for more money. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole for the love. I got 20,000 subscribers and followers and shit. Like, I need to start merchandising and selling some vinyl, some tapes, some little figurines. So I did create like with Gravity Entertainment. I got a poster. I already printed it up, and it's all my drawings on like one little page. And then with Blue Pie, I'm going to have a record, but it's not going to be like a distributed record. We did a deal where they going to pull songs from all my CDs and make one like compilation kind of mixtape series. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to pull all the dark songs and like we get a cover for like BhramaBull Darkness album. You know what I'm saying? And repress up those and only do like 100. So it goes up in value later.
Okay.
So merchandising and selling shit, I gotta do that.
Yeah. Diversify the income streams.
Right. You know, I mean, I'm grinding every day with my regular job, but I'm missing out really on, and people respect, like people want the shit. It's not about paying for it. And now I think my whole luster of being behind, Mystique and who is this guy type shit, that shit is over. You know what I'm saying? I gotta sell some shit.
Okay. Thank you for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
No doubt. Let's get it, man.
The history of hip-hop from JJ.
The history of hip hop with JJ.
The history of hip-hop with JJ. Baby, can I have an ice,
We are Black Culture Radio. We are Black Culture Radio. We are Black Culture Radio.